Look, YouTube, man, she brought out Batman with another reaction. We got nobody cares about IRL streaming anymore. By that boy old Measy, man. Let's do it.
I think we're going to see a shift that says, I want to get back in tune with my community and build my true and authentic self with a group of true and authentic people. After an IRL streaming boom that would most certainly build a bunch of content creators' careers off of its shenanigans, nonsense, and tomfoolery. Certainly build a bunch of content creators' careers off of its shenanigans.
Where was he at?
Nonsense and tomfoolery, but also birthed some of the worst, and I do mean worst, content creators out there on the planet. I made a prediction 5 months ago that streaming would get back to its natural roots. Desktop, chat, gaming, creators just hanging out and growing a community from the comfort of their desktops. And it seems as though some of the biggest creators in the game are doing just that. But streaming isn't going backwards. Creators have taken their years of experience creating the biggest and most massive events, IRL, and bringing all of that newfound knowledge back to their desktop where it all started. And I think that there's a reason why, and I believe that this is way more sustainable than any sort of IRL content creator could have ever imagined. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long, long way for the channel. The train to 200K is right there. Are you gonna get on? Are you gonna not get on? Are you gonna play around? If you're gonna play around, you need to go ahead and just walk away. Walk away right now. Now, back into the video. iShowSpeed is one of the biggest streamers and content creators in the world, and he didn't do that by sitting at a desktop. In fact, he did the opposite. He picked up his camera, put on a backpack, and decided that he was going to go around the world and cultivate an audience that would love him from this camera, put on a backpack, and decided that he was going to go around the world and cultivate an audience that would love him from this hemisphere to that hemisphere. He went to sporting events, he ran through different cities, he met a bunch, and I do mean a bunch of celebrities along the way. And while he did create some chaos along his journey, he also spread his global influence. Similar to Kai Cenat, he's had a similar escalation in his own way, whether it be the celebrity streams, whether it be the mafia thoughts, whether it be the streaming universities. Kai Cenat has put on arguably the hugest productions in the streaming industry. Just last month, Stream University generated 56.79 million hours watched across its broadcast and peaked at 1.45 million viewers. And once I heard that the two were doing a collaboration / joint stream, I just knew that there was going to be some sort of big and huge endeavor attached to it. Think about it. iShowSpeed just came out of his World Cup tour where he was going around for these different cities, seeing all of these different games, spreading his international influence even while he was in the States. And Kai Cenat just came off of Stream University, the biggest streaming event of the year. But boy, did it come to my surprise in the initial that it didn't require all that production. It just required two guys, two computers, two cameras, their chats, and like an 8-bit Minecraft game.
But we still have to beat every boss in on hardcore.
I'm gonna go 1.3. I ain't gonna lie, that's a little too fast. If I don't know why I'm doing that, I explained it plenty of times. I am not finna act like I don't got ADHD no more, bro. I'm not.
Even if we all did
a Minecraft stream. That doesn't align with anything that these two have been doing recently. I mean, there's nothing inherently big about Minecraft. Granted, the stakes were high. The behind the scenes, and by behind the scenes, I mean like background production, did look good. It did look beautiful. But
he was crying again. He's always crying, bro.
I mean, there's nothing inherently big about Minecraft. Granted, the stakes were high. The behind the scenes, and by behind the scenes, I mean like background production, did look good. It did look beautiful. But an 8-bit game for two of the biggest streamers in the world would be a backward step in production. But I'm not gonna lie, for all 121 hours that these two played, it was some of the most entertaining content that I've seen in a long time.
I just, no disrespect at all. I don't know. I don't know. It's just so much other things I'm focused on right now.
Entertaining content that I have seen in a long time.
One more.
Oh my God.
He's so stupid. He always do that.
But this is what we meant 5 months ago on the channel when we said that streamers will return back to their desktop. It's not because IRL is no longer working, because it clearly is still working. And that does come with the asterisk that we'll get into a little bit later. But if you look at some of the biggest content creators in the space right now, I'm seeing this trend that is going on. And a lot of them are sitting back in front of their desktops. Look at Senna, who has turned her home desktop into this base as she prepares for a month-long streaming saga. Hell, streamers Your Rage and Extra Emily sat down for an elite Call of Duty session that lasted like a week. It was something long, but it was something entertaining as well. Pause. And then you have the traditional desktop streamers that are still proving that there's some viability to desktop streaming as a whole. Streamer Jinxie has been building some of the biggest creator of desktop streamers that are still proving that there's some viability to desktop streaming as a whole. Streamer Jinxie has been building some of the biggest, and then you have the traditional desktop streamers that are still proving that there's some viability.
You know what's crazy, bro? This shit is ridiculous, nigga. Saints Row, no new version of Saints Row or GTA or nothing has came out in the last 10, like 12, 13 years. Because this was like a variant of GTA. I don't know what this is, but it just reminded me like, no one's going to do this. No one's going to make another GTA type game. Like, what the fuck? This whole time, we had to literally wait till GTA 6 because no one's going to do this. Ain't that diabolical? No one thought, like, what is that? Like,
to desktop streaming.
Where is these? Y'all couldn't try to make a next gen whatever type of GTA or a variant of that.
As well. And then you have the traditional desktop
Saints
streamers that are still
Row-ish,
proving that there's some
anything like
viability to
this?
desktop streaming as a whole.
Because I don't know.
Building
I'm
some
pretty
of
sure
the
that's
biggest creator
GTA RP or
events, all while
something.
never
It don't look. It looks the HUD or whatever. It looks different. But damn, where they been?
leaving the comfort of his seat, and
Y'all
it's
just
yielding
gave
good
up,
results.
huh?
I've been streaming
Just
since
like NBA
2019.
Live.
I've never in my life seen 7,000 subs in like 8 minutes. I broke my record by
Breaking a record without having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on big budget productions and going out there being annoying to the unsuspecting is a big deal. That's no shade to anybody, but ultimately the desktop is starting to feel important again. Now, I want to make it clear. I feel like some people may misinterpret this as desktop streams equal low effort, dumbed down versions of streams, and the IRL streams are these high quality, high effort, high energy streams. But these are not the same desktop streams that your grandfather or your older brother is used to. These are still great productions. When people think of desktop streams, they ultimately think of like low effort. Hey, I'm sitting with my chat, pulling up a video that my audience has probably watched or sent to me. I'm just doing some sort of like low effort reaction.
Hey, what you trying to say, bro? What are you trying to say, bro? All these niggas, you throwing them all astray, or who? Who specifically?
Probably watched or sent to
Probably
me.
all
I'm
of
just
them.
doing some sort of like low effort reaction, or even if I am hanging out with other creators, it's in a Discord call.
Flight,
And
definitely.
we're just doing
Flight. I'm gonna say Flight. I think Soluminati is probably the GOAT, but he's probably the biggest one here. And that nigga Flight. My thing is like, all right, you gonna do the desktop? Cool. You might not want to do IRL, which I don't even think I would necessarily watch that, and that's not even his personality. But like, damn, my thing be like, where the scary games? Where the really getting in your Duffy? Like, Flight just do the same little, Here's what it is though.
sort of like
Where
low
the
effort
scary
reaction,
game? Where
or
the
even if I am hanging out with other creators, it's in a Discord call, and we're just doing some
Illuminati
lay
said he
down,
coming back for GTA 6 though, I think.
okay, just firing up a game and hanging out with the bros. But now in 2026, that is not the case. I think the best example of this is Jinxie, who is putting on these massive tournaments, these massive gaming expeditions with some of the biggest creators around the world.
Bruce
Almost
in
feeling
there.
like this esports event that nobody has to leave their house in order to participate in. His last league tournament brought together 40 creators from different sides of the internet, all spanning different parts of the world. And again, nobody had to come and be in person in order for this to take place. No big overhead, no big productions. Different personalities, unique talents, different POVs, different communities. It gave the competition, it gave the arguments, it gave people a reason to watch. While the game does give something for people to do, the creators still are the ones that provide the content, and I ultimately think that's why this works. Same thing with the Kai Cenat and Speed Minecraft tournament. Sure, Minecraft is the shared game in and of itself, but when you combine iShow, Speed, and Kai Cenat, hell, they could be doing woodworking and people would find it entertaining. And the same goes for your Rage and Emily. You don't need professional players to make these gaming excursions work. As long as you have two big and bold personalities, the content creator of it all, then ultimately people will find this to be enjoyable. This is where I think a lot of the IRL streamers and content creators that came up last year and maybe even
Why you got a
before that
beef
got it
with
all
them,
wrong. They
though?
didn't understand or at least underestimated the
Why can't
value
niggas
of
IRL
the
stream,
creator and
though?
what they bring to the table. They thought the big event of it all, the surrounding effects of it all were the real draw. But what's being proven in 2026 is that it's the creator that brings all of the great things to the table. The creator is the one that amplifies what's supposed to be going on. And in fact, I saw a big movement in the past couple of years where the creator didn't even try anymore. They just let the IRL event of it all kind of take the front and center of it. But I don't think that that's great for building like a long-lasting audience, more so for building clips and getting these viral moments together. But I especially think if we're talking about building and growing and connecting to a community, not saying it's the end all be all, but what you can create and do from behind your desktop and in your own comfort of your own home is something that is invaluable. That's exactly what I see when I look at a creator like Senna. She's doing another version of the creator desktop revolution. Instead of constantly traveling to find the content and find these other creators to do these collaborations around these big things with, she's actually bringing people into her own environment, proving that it's not the outside that makes the event. It's really us as creators and what we can do behind the camera.
Did you hear the good news?
What's the good news?
The Blue Jays might make the wild card.
Illuminati.
The Blue Jays going crazy right now.
Bro, ain't that why he
Piss me
stopped streaming, bro? I just thought about that. That nigga was stressed out on the sleep about that the IRL streaming, bro. But then he was like, bro, I think he said something similar to what bro's saying, like, man, we ain't all got to do that shit or whatever, something like that. I forgot
Proving
what
that
he
it's
said.
not the outside that makes the event. It's really us as creators and what we can do behind the camera.
Did you hear the good news?
What's the good news?
The Blue Jays might make the wild card.
The Blue Jays?
The Blue Jays going crazy right now.
Who are the Blue Jays?
Don't fucking piss me off.
Who the fuck are the Blue Jays?
The fucking Blue. Do you know who the Dodgers are?
Yeah.
That makes me sick to my fucking stomach, fam. What do you mean you know who the Dodgers are? You don't know who the fuck the Blue Jays are, man? Fuck the Dodgers.
Come on.
Please. No longer is the event centralized in these streams. It's about the chat. It's about the community. It's about the interaction. When you're sitting at the desktop, the relationship seems so natural and clear to see. You got your streamer talking to the chat talks to the streamer. It's as simple as that. And that's the basics and foundation of what desktop streaming is. I don't think that desktop streaming came back because all of a sudden people are having this nostalgic moment. I think it came back because streamers are figuring out ways to make it bigger and better than ever without sacrificing or losing what made the streams work in the first place. And if this continues, then you might see a big shift in how streamers go about making content going forward. The comeback isn't just streamers sitting down and playing video games for hours on end. Now that streamers have put this IRL component to its limits, they are now asking themselves, how can I do this at home? And it's creating some of the greatest content in the world. Creators are now building bigger and greater ideas around their desktop. Streamer Your Rage just ran Cobbleverse, which is this 100-hour Pokemon, Minecraft, they call it Cobblemon, hodgepodge of a game that lasted nearly a week. 100 streamers, hours of content, great fun to be had for everybody around. And JC is pretty much doing the same exact thing. He's hosting these tournaments that are connecting streamers and content creators from around the world for these big, massive events that are getting branded, sponsored. It's bringing the competitiveness. It's bringing all of the great things that doing things
and watching things and whatever, tapping into things I just not that interested in, but other people might be.
Content creation and gaming all in one. And the beauty of it is that nobody has to leave their house. And that's the bigger shift here. And I want to break down something that a lot of people aren't really addressing. Look, the truth is that streaming in reality actually built its foundation on the IRL aspect of it all. When we think about Justin TV, which is what Twitch was called before it was actually called Twitch, the creator of the app, Justin, was somebody who was just streaming their everyday life. But when you fast forward to 2024 and 2025 and see all of the endeavors that people have been putting onto streams these days, it's taken a turn for what some people may say is the worst. The costs are getting extraordinary, from the streaming backpacks to the cameras to the setups, all of these different things. Then when you factor in the other production aspects and elements of it all, I'm talking about getting the place and space put together, getting the cast and stuff that are needed in order to do these things. Then when you factor in the name when it comes to IRL streaming, there's a certain connotation that is following IRL streaming, similar to being a content creator of itself or being a podcaster. I'm going to let you guys know that if you let somebody know that you're a podcaster and that's your form of content creation, there's a bad connotation that is involved with it. And that's the same thing that's going on with IRL streaming. If you let somebody know you're an IRL streamer, I mean, hell, on this channel especially, we're gonna think that you're somebody who's closely connected to streaming platforms like Kick, and you go out there and you are a nuisance streamer. And you're gonna get tied to the low effort content of it all. We've seen people over these past couple of years just pop up streams, say they're going outside and live IRL, and that's also like just low effort content. They're not really doing anything. I'm saying all this to say is that IRL content for the past couple of years has had its peaks and its highs. You did have content creators and streamers who were putting on big endeavors that were beautiful and they were fun experiences. But I think if you look at the bigger picture, a lot of it was not fruitful. It was very, very costly. The connotations of an IRL streamer has gotten out there. We're seeing content creators left, right, and sideways getting dinged for having IRL streams, whether it be with dealing with fees with Airbnb, police, all these other things. It's really not a good look in the space, because at the end of the day, there's this lack of connection that you're having with your chat, you're having with your community. You're not really building an audience. You're more so chasing a viral moment. After all, that's a part of the foundation of a good, healthy streamer, is that they have a good, healthy fan base that's committed to watching their content, whether it be the big streams or whether it be them just talking to a Discord server. You need that fan base and that community, but if you're not cultivating that because you're outside doing workout videos with women, ultimately you probably won't be successful. Just 5 months ago, we predicted that this was going to be reality on this channel, and it seems as though it is here today. People want the authenticity. People want the real. People don't want the gimmicks associated with the IRL streaming of it. I think as we get more and more down the rabbit hole, peeling back the curtain of what IRL streaming is, it's a lot of fake, it's a lot of hired, it's a lot of overproduced, it's a lot of lack of value. And I think that we will see a lot more content creators run to the desktops and have real marathon streams, high produced streams while they are at the desktop. I'm not saying that it wasn't fruitful for these creators to go out there and do their IRL stuff. All the production stuff that they learned, all of the content creation goodness that they learned while being outside, they're now bringing it into their home. And for what it's worth, it is making for better produced content. No longer are they just doing these solo endeavors when it comes to games. It's, hey, how can we take a simple Minecraft hardcore game and turn it up to the max? And ultimately, we are seeing the fruits of the labor. But my future prediction is that we actually see less IRL streams going forward and more desktop streams, bringing out the better content creators, those that don't have to rely on the event of it all in order to draw an audience, but rather their authenticity to keep us engaged. I'm actually excited for the future. I think we're gonna see a shift.
Shout out, bro. Y'all let me know what y'all think, bro. I'm out, man. Okay.